film sucks. Indie film sucks. It's the Indie Film Sucks podcast. Yeah.
Coming at you from the mean streets of St. Louis, from a basement on South Broadway, the Indie Film Sucks podcast. Because we're back.
We're back. Welcome back. Yeah, year two.
Yeah, excited to be back. We're gonna have to knock some dust off.
Yeah,
Yes.
This is the podcast that talks about the highs, the lows, and the in-betweens of real independent film.
I knew he would fuck that up.
What is it?
True independent filmmaking.
True independent filmmaking.
All right, why don't you let Greg take it over? Right, Greg, go back. You try it. We got knock the rust off.
We talk about the highs, the lows, and the in-betweens of true independent filmmaking.
That's what it is.
That's Chris Grega, Brock Roberts over across from me, and my name is Mackie. Welcome to the Indie Film Sucks podcast.
Yep. We missed you, so
Yeah, if this is your first time listening, we like to sit around, talk about indie film. We're three independent filmmakers, and we like to sit and talk about independent film, our experience. We bring on guests. We talk about our movies that are coming up. We talk about other things that are going on in the community, and just really try to just have a good time. So, welcome to year two. That's all I got.
well, good job.
Excellent work, sir.
Trying.
All right, so we've been on a little bit of a hiatus, but we've been busy doing shit.
Yes.
So why don't we just talk about what the hell we've been doing?
Well, how about we talk about what's that in the middle of the
Hey,
table
what's
there?
that? What's that
Oh,
skull
yeah,
with the red hand there?
What is that thing?
Looks like another award.
It is another award.
I'll be damned.
Well, let's not read the award. Let's tell them what it's actually for.
That was for the Chicago Horror Film Festival. We won Best Horror Feature.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah, that was a nice experience. That was the first film where I participated and fully engaged in waiting for ours to show, going multiple days, and actually sitting down and watching an entire program in one theater. I think we did that the second day on Sunday. Mm-hmm. We sat there and just watched. I mean, I love the way he ran that. It was like a short and then a medium, I call them. I know they're shorts, or I don't know what the time frame is on an independent or a feature, but anyway, had a good time.
Yeah, CJ Vecchio, the festival director, he fucking killed it. He was awesome. Great dude.
Good dude.
Yeah, great.
He's a true filmmaker too.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Everybody we met there, everybody's there to support each other.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually blown away. I didn't know what to think, especially when we walked up to the theater. I'm like, oh, looks like a typical small Chicago kind of. It looked like it was converted into several spaces at one time. Like it was really small, actual theater. And then they had other spaces, but the way he divided it up with kind of shorts in the front, but really great screen. I mean, it was quality visuals where you could see there, and then they had the main theater where they showed some of the features and the shorts. Then they had another little small section with some tables in it and stuff that, I don't know, I thought he did a good job of having three areas set up, and I wasn't really distracted watching films in any of them.
No, I thought the theater that Red Knight was shown in sounded great.
Yeah.
Looks great. We had a pretty nice audience there. A lot of other filmmakers showed up to watch our film. So our film showed on Sunday.
Yes.
And the actual awards were handed out on Saturday. So we got up early Saturday, right? And we drove all the way to Chicago from here in St. Louis. Did some brainstorming, talked a bunch of bullshit about it.
Worked on our social media game.
Oh, God,
Which is pretty bad.
the grind of being independent filmmakers. We're three buddies too, so we talk a lot about life in general. And so we get there, and Mackie hooked us up with a pretty sweet hotel. It was very nice.
Yeah, it worked out, right?
It was a beautiful hotel.
$65 a man for
something like that.
Parking, 2 Ubers in a hotel room?
Yeah,
it's not too bad for 2 days in Chicago.
I forgot my checkbook, Mackie. I'm sorry. I know I stole you.
That's all right. Was that my little subtle hint to say?
You should have texted. I would have got you. But so
heard that before.
So, from who? Who?
I don't know.
Anyhow, so we get to this really killer hotel. We have a quick bite to eat, a quick drink, and head to the theater space, which you guys just talked about. And we didn't know what we were walking into, right? And we get there. The marquee is pretty nice. There's some people hanging out in front on the street, and it's typical Chicago. Pretty busy area, pretty crowded. Nowhere to park. So luckily we did Uber, and we get there, and it's a little early, so we get a chance to sit in and watch a really cool movie. And got to meet those directors and producers. And I forget, what was the name of that?
New Fear's
Eve.
Yeah, New Fear's Eve.
Yeah, and that one, I didn't know what to expect walking into it, and that movie blew my mind. It was a horror comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
they actually won for best horror comedy.
They did, and it was a horror, and it was pretty fucking funny too.
It was.
It's some new ways for people to die. I'll leave it at that.
I think they based it off of how much they raised during their crowdfund of how many kills.
Yeah,
right?
So they did a crowdfunding thing. Chris, maybe you remember more about it than I do. But they did a crowdfunding, and they told people whoever donated X amount of dollars could be in the movie as one of the kills. And they ended up doing very well at it and had to add to their movie for all the kills that they promised people.
Yeah.
So they got creative.
Yeah. Oh, they had to get really creative because they had way more kills than they anticipated. So I like the fact that they incorporated the community and then the people who gave, because that's independent filmmaking for sure.
Yeah.
And then have to work around all that, but still pulled it off. Yeah, it was pretty good. And the kills, you guys got to see this. The kills in there are incredible.
Somebody died by a paper cut.
Yes. Someone died with another P word.
It was pretty funny and gruesome, but pretty damn good. And then not long after that, we watched...
we saw Redhead, our friends Sam and Jonna Hodge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From West Virginia.
Yeah. Who were down here in St. Louis for the Always Late Film Festival.
Yes.
That did pretty
Always
well.
Late TV Movie Awards.
Thank you.
That's right. And she won Best Actress.
Yes. Congratulations.
Yes.
Woo! Yeah, well deserving, man. That's a hardcore movie too for
That was
you horror
intense.
fans.
That was intense.
Very brutal.
Yes, extremely brutal. And man, I think if people are into super horror, that is a film to see.
I wouldn't mess with the redhead.
No.
And you know what? They couldn't be the more sweeter people.
Oh,
Oh no, yeah, and then you see that?
Yeah.
You're like, what is twisted in their brain? But again, the genre and the independent film, you got to be a little bit nuts.
yeah, she came up to me after the awards, all crying. Her mascara's running down. She's all in, but you're right, Grega. She's like the sweetest person.
Yes.
But in the movie, she's a psycho, crazy bitch from hell.
Yeah.
But it's very convincing. Very good. So anyway, after that, that's when the awards were, I believe, right?
The awards were Sunday.
Sunday, okay. See, I was drunk.
No,
It's a blur.
awards were Saturday night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're right. You're
Yes.
right. The
So,
awards
okay,
were...
Greg is drunk.
I was drunk.
Exactly. Yeah, the awards were Saturday night, and so they were. The one thing about festivals was I wasn't used to. Hey, people come at different times and just poke your head in whenever. So there was constantly people kind of coming and going, and I was trying to be respectful of that myself. But people were constantly coming and going depending on what crowd you had there, because your film might be showing at 3:30 roughly around that time. He did a really good job of saying, here's the order and here's how it's going to go. We may be a little off here or there, but a big group might come in, right? When that movie's going on or they're changing out movies. That's the one thing I wasn't necessarily used to. It was okay because I get it. But
I think we did watch the Friday the 13th one that night too. Because
then we did the panel? Or did we did the panel after?
Oh, man, I don't remember.
it's
I
been
don't even that long
it's been a
ago.
couple weeks ago, but we ended up watching that movie too. Which
Yeah, the
he
Friday
raised-
the 13th fan film.
Yeah,
which
he
was-
raised quite a bit of money for
did
that
really
movie.
good. Yep.
And I tell you what, that's the second one he's done. And
Don't Run in the Woods?
Don't Hike in the Woods.
Don't Hike in the Woods 2.
yeah, and obviously you never know what to expect when you see a fan film. Some of them are really good, and some of them are really not good. This one is really fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
and
it really
he brought
was.
back 2 or 3 actors from one of the original.
From the
Friday the
sixth.
13th? From the 6th Friday the 13th.
Yeah, two actors from the sixth one. I believe
Yeah,
it was.
the sheriff and somebody else.
Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty impressive just to kind of have that. But definitely a good movie. And I got back to work, and the guy goes, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "I've seen the first one
Yeah,
of those
somebody
movies."
say the same thing.
Exactly. And he goes, "Oh, that guy was there." And I
Yeah.
go, "Yeah, I was rubbing elbows with this dude that I never met before, didn't even know what he did, but
Yeah,
quality work."
Yeah, nice dude.
He was very nice. I mean, that night he was pretty busy. Saturday night before the awards, because again the awards were Saturday night, and then nobody had seen our movie yet.
No.
So we were there just talking with all these other directors. And Greg, you were on a panel. You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, it was just a panel of a lot of the directors. Like there were 5 or 6 of us up there. So there was me, there was a Friday the 13th guy, there was the New Year's Eve guys, and there was maybe one other person. And we were just talking about the indie film grind and the stuff that we do. And like people were asking questions like, how do you raise money? You're like, great question. None of us have any real idea. And how do you make money? Another great question. None of us have really any idea. And, someone else was saying, should you make an investor teaser in order to raise money? And we were all like, yeah, it's
worked for us.
It can be helpful. But, it's do you want to put too much time and money into it? Yeah, it's a balancing act, really. But it was a good panel and, a lot of questions and talked to a bunch of people afterwards. And
that's what I was going to say. I thought the questions from the audience, you could tell it was a smart audience.
Yeah.
Because they asked really intelligent questions geared towards that. It wasn't like, oh, I saw you at Jim Bob, like sometimes you typically hear on these things. And I thought the levels of where everybody was covered a lot of different way people made horror movies, right? One was a fan film, one was a horror comedy, and then ours.
Yeah.
So I just thought that CJ did a good job of selecting the directors so any question could be answered, which you guys did a really good job doing that.
Yeah, and then soon after that, that's actually when the awards were handed out.
Now we're at the awards?
Yeah, okay. Because I tell you what, there's probably a couple hundred people at least.
Yes.
At least, right?
Oh,
at
yeah.
the awards.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there.
There were a lot of films in this thing. We were lucky to get in, to be honest, because
Yes.
there's so many films. We were really lucky so we were nominated for a few awards.
Best feature, best director, best actor, best actress. So the same thing from the Always Late.
Yeah, so we didn't get the individual awards, which, it is what it is. But we did come away with the big award, which I'm pretty proud of. And it was pretty crowded. It's hard to hear the award. It's pretty tough.
We're actually in the hallway.
We were kind of in the hallway because it was so packed we couldn't get up front.
Well, here's what happened.
Yeah.
So talking about schedules.
Yes.
So in the main theater, that's where the award ceremony was supposed to be. But everything ran long. So the festival director was like, well, I don't want to shut them. I don't want to kick them out of there because they have a right to screen their films. So they moved the whole award thing into this smaller secondary theater. And it was much smaller. And that was completely packed from floor to ceiling with people. So we were like all the way like out in the hall. And nobody could hear when the awards were being announced. So someone in the room would have to yell out, oh, so-and-so won Best Short. And then people would yell, back, like, who won? That was so-and-so won Best Short. And then
the crowd would have to part so they could get down to it.
Then we thought it was over without winning anything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I thought at least.
Because we didn't hear our name at all. So the whole thing's over. Like, oh, I guess we didn't win anything.
So you and I walked down to the front and go.
No. Before that, someone, I think the New Year's Eve guy said, hey, you guys won. Like,
What?
we didn't hear anything.
He goes, I thought I heard, right? Red Night, right?
Yeah, that's you guys, right? Yeah.
So we walked down to the front and we're like, hey, just want to know if we...
Did we win something?
And they had to be out at midnight, so that was part of the crunch too.
Yeah.
Is this theater was, obviously he was renting it. It was owned by somebody else, and they wanted us out by midnight. And he wanted to honor that. Mm-hmm. He wanted to honor these other films, so there was a lot of crunch during that portion of it.
Yeah.
But we did get the award, and then there was a little quick after party afterwards, a champagne thing, and we partaked we did that.
Yeah.
And then there were some interviews, which
we missed.
we missed out on the goddamn interviews.
We missed. We were confused.
Well, it was crowded as hell. It was pretty confusing because there's so many people there, and there's only one interviewer, obviously, and it's right in the middle of all the chaos. So it's probably real tough on them to get all the interviews and corral everybody and get them all in the time frame you spoke about to get in and out. So we had a quick little after party, a little champagne toast for everybody, and then got booted out pretty much.
Yeah, it was. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I mean, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, but I'm very proud that we got one award, the biggest award there.
No, it's big. It seemed to generate some interest on social media because it's a pretty nice film festival.
It's a good
Yeah.
film festival
It's
for sure.
it's a big city, and it's outside of St. Louis.
It is.
That's the important part right there.
They did, and they didn't treat us like we was outsiders at all.
No,
You
not
know?
at all.
You talk about networking.
Yeah, there was a lot of good people to meet there for sure.
That's the one thing. If anybody's listening, that even if you're just going to watch films, and if you like films, go. There's going to be filmmakers there, network. That's what I found the best about it. That's what I enjoyed the most about it, is talking to
And
people and networking.
at the very end, like, because our movie screened on Sunday.
Right.
And there's one thing I didn't like, but this has nothing to do with the festival, and I've seen this at other festivals.
Oh yeah,
So, like, there's like 5 minutes left in our film. And then all these people for the next film, like 50 people for the next screening, all come into the tail end of our movie.
I got so pissed.
I was so fucking mad.
Right, and that's what I was alluding to before. Like, that's the only thing that I found not strange, but it was kind of like anybody can poke in, and you may be only there to see that film.
It's disrespectful. They came in, they're talking, they're laughing, they're carrying on. Like, what the fuck? This movie is still going on.
Yeah, and I had to get up because two older ladies wanted to get in, and so I got up and I sat back down, and kind of looked at them, waved to them, and our movie's still going. The big ending of our
know.
movie, right? And then this guy goes, "I'm with them," and I said, "Oh, excuse me, I'm just trying to watch my film." I didn't like as my film because it was, but he's, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Well, whatever, man."
Yeah.
And then I sat there, and then I got up and watched the rest of our movie from the back of the theater because it's very disrespectful.
Yes, that from the film goers,
Yeah.
it was a little off, or
Yeah.
they should have especially at that time, and that's where I hope we didn't do that when we were into these other films. I thought we were really respectful, and up to that point, I thought everybody was respectful coming
Yeah,
in
no.
and coming out. That was a large group. I don't even know what the film was that was playing next. I don't even care.
It was a local one.
Was it? But there was a lot of
And it was a
people there,
short.
and they were obviously there to have a good time for that film.
Yeah, and
So-
that's fine. But one cool thing I will say about it, though, is after the awards, you expect a lot of people to leave because the awards was Saturday and our
Yeah.
movie showed Sunday afternoon.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
And to be honest, a lot of filmmakers stayed to watch our film since we did win the award.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to know why we won it. And they saw our movie, and they really had a lot of nice things to say to all of us after they saw our movie.
I was pleasantly, not even surprised. I guess I was surprised because we always joke around. There'll be four guys, three of them will be us and the projectionist, right? So that's the four. But man, there was a nice sized crowd, and it's
Yeah.
exactly what Brock just talked about. Is a lot of people came back, they stayed. People we talked to that we didn't expect to come back or said, "Hey, I'm leaving." We're there. So I was pleasantly surprised for a movie that showed at 3:00 on a Sunday.
Yeah, no.
After the awards.
No, I was very
Well,
surprised.
yes.
Because we have been there when there's like no one in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
It's like literally me, Brock, the projectionist, and one other dude.
And drunk chick, maybe.
And a drunk chick.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been there when there's like nobody there. So there was, I don't know, 50 people. It was a good turnout.
No, it was for a Sunday afternoon because I was a little afraid even after we won an award, which great, right? We have that.
Yeah.
But now we want our film to be shown to people that have never seen it before,
Yes.
right? We want to get that feedback. Are they going to laugh where we thought they were going to laugh? Are they going to get scared where we thought? What's the feedback going to be? And I thought we had a nice sizable crowd for that. So I didn't want to drive back to St. Louis and go, it was nice winning the award. All that was that, but man, Sunday really sucked.
Yeah.
I don't think Sunday didn't suck.
No.
You can tell when somebody's fake praising.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And we didn't see any of that. And in the movies we saw, they were good, man.
No, there
So
were. There was a lot of good
it's a
shorts.
tough
God dang,
competition,
man, there
and-
were some good shorts.
Good. So if you're a filmmaker, step it up to get in some of these festivals because there's some good competition out there.
That's what you want to see. You
Yep.
want your
Yes.
film to play with other good films.
Yes, and I thought it was well rounded with Redhead, the fan film.
And I even hesitate to call it a fan film. It was so
well,
It
I
could
think
stand
they
on its
are
own.
to try to get around it, but they'd already worked it out because they'd already done the first
Yeah,
one.
so you guys
Yeah.
gotta see it. It is
No,
a
it did
fan
stand
film.
on its own.
It definitely stands on its own as a horror film, and it's definitely Friday the 13th in my eyes.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I think he intended every bit of it to do it.
That's right.
But he's getting around licensing and different things.
He's a smart dude.
and he's a very smart dude.
He's a guy I hope to get to know soon.
Yeah, he's a good fundraiser. He has his stuff together and gave us 1,000 tips in 15, 20 minutes that there's no way you could execute them, but it gave us a foundation to go, oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
It's a good time, man.
Yeah. So then afterwards, we decided it's pretty late. We was really hungry and decided to grab a bite to eat. And I told Chris, hey, I want to see this nice award we got. I hadn't held it yet.
Oh, yeah, the big award.
So
It's the big award, yeah.
the award that we were awarded was Best Horror Feature, correct?
Yes.
So I pick up this beautiful, which it actually is pretty damn cool.
It's an awesome
It's really
award.
awesome. I look at it and I go, look, I guess, did we win Best Horror Short? They
He goes,
looked at
"What?"
me. I said, yeah.
I thought he was fucking with me.
So we somehow got the wrong award. It says Chicago Horror Film Festival winner 2024, Best Horror Short.
Yeah, I think something from the time I set it down for the champagne toast
Yeah.
to the time we picked it up again,
Well.
this is what we got.
So somebody that shot the Best Horror Short
I mean, with
has the Best Horror
with
Feature.
the wide range of the audience we have coming out of this podcast, I'm sure somebody will be able to text somebody
Hey, it's a story to
and
tell.
find
Yeah.
it. No, it works.
But it's a cool looking award. I'm glad we
is.
won it.
It
Everybody,
is.
good job to you guys.
Yeah, and on to bigger and better because we're heading to Cleveland in June.
Heading to Cleveland in
I don't
June.
know if it's bigger and better in Chicago, but I know it's a big one.
June.
It's a real big one.
It's a nice
Yeah, the
one.
International Horror Hotel.
Yes.
And then we find out if we get in Hysteria Fest
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
and if we get in the St. Louis Filmmaker Showcase.
Yep. All
That's
coming.
going to be a tough one to get into.
All coming down the pipeline.
That really is. We may
No,
not
I'm
get
telling
in.
you,
We may
man.
not get in.
We don't
I
get
was
local
impressed
stuff.
by the quality of the films that were in this film. So I know what we're up against now. That was an experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just meeting these people and what they do and how they're grinding it out and the stuff they put up there.
Yeah.
I wish I would have met more of the short people. I was impressed by some of those.
Not only impressed with their movies, but they're like us. They're grinding it out too, trying to figure out how to do something they love and make a living at it, And hey, we're all in the same boat.
And they travel far. What did we meet those people from France?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we did.
That was Jeez.
For a short.
I know. I was surprised. And you said even at the other one the people came from
Japan.
Japan, yeah.
Yeah, the Always Late one had people from Japan.
Yeah, and they were headed off to LA to go to another festival, so they were on
And
a circuit.
so was the one from France, the person who met from France.
Yeah,
She was going to LA.
yeah. So we came home
We did. Back to St. Louis.
back to St. Louis to make this great production.
I know. And you know what the great thing about this is?
What's that, Greg?
Well, the great thing about the Indie Film Sucks podcast is we always talk about the highs, the lows, and the in-betweens of true independent filmmaking. Blah, 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 brought to you by 88mm Productions.
That's right.
It's out there.
Hey, we're back.
We're
and
back.
We're
That's
back.
right.
We,
Yeah.
we and honestly, we're gonna have some pretty cool new stuff we're coming up with for you guys. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
And
First
lots-
time. Go back and listen to some of the other things, especially
Listen
the
to
guests.
some of the guests. We got more coming up.
Some of the guests. That's some of our best stuff. So peace out.
See ya.
Indie film sucks. Indie film sucks. It's the Indie Film Sucks